4 minutes to race time. You know what song comes next. Here it is, leading up to the 4 o'clock start of the women's 5,000 meters, featuring Isabel Weideman and Laura Hall. Space Odyssey 2001, a fantastic song, a great song. Less than 2 minutes to the start time for the Canadian Long Track Championship, Day 2, women's 5,000 meters, featuring the Canadian current record holder, Isabel Weideman, and junior and up-and-comer, Laura Hall. If you joined us on the YouTube feed, Facebook, and CBC, welcome. We've just a couple minutes before race time as officials, and everybody's getting in place. This will be a fairly light schedule today with the women's 5,000 meters and the men's 10,000 meters before tomorrow's Oval International and Day 3 of the Canadian Long Track Championships. I will introduce the skaters right now, actually. Welcome to the 5,000 meter, Day 2 of the Canadian Long Track Championships, 5,000 meter women's race. In the representing Ontario, say hello to Isabel Weideman. And in the outer lane, from Alberta, say hello and welcome to Laura Hall. Good luck, ladies. And we are off. Let's start off with the 200 meters split time. Isabel Weideman in at 20.66. Laura Hall in at 20. Two different skaters at two different distinctly parts of their careers. Isabel Weideman, who's been on the World Cup circuit and is currently the Canadian champion, record champion of the time of the 5,000 meters, and Laura Hall skating as a junior. And each of them will be looking to skate within themselves, because in terms of a pairing, their times will be considerably different. So for example, Isabel Weideman, her personal best is 6:47.34. 6:47.34. She'll be looking to best that. If she does, that'll create even a newer record. Laura Hall has a season and a personal best of 7:22.79. So she'll be looking to best that. And I can hear the cheering out there for these two skaters that everybody knows that are fixtures at the and Laura Hall, 12 and a half laps in this 5,000 meter women's race. And the times to look at isn't the actual time, but the split times or the lap times. Isabel Weideman's lap is at 32:67, 1,000 meters in, I think 65 rather, 1,000 meters into the race, and Laura Hall's in at 34:34. Those that are in the know in speed skating with a long race like this want to see their lap times as low as possible throughout the race. They want to keep the gap between their lap time from their fastest to their slowest. And no doubt with skaters going 12 and a half laps, they tire. So fitness and fatigue play a role, as do technique. The fitter you are, the longer you're able to hold your technique. It's a test of mental and physical test against the human body as a speed skater and as an athlete. And make no mistake, Weideman on the world circuit for many, many years, no doubt in her prime as a speed skater, and Laura Hall as an up-and-comer. With a mentor like Weideman, that's only good things for Laura Hall in these distances and throughout her career. So let's put on some music for these ladies. And for you watching in the Oval. But if you're watching on YouTube or CBC or Facebook, due to, without having permission for the music, you'll just be hearing my voice. We're 2,200 meters into the race. And the split time with Isabel Weideman is at 32:41. Very consistent for Isabel. And Laura's brought hers down under 34. And that should help. Here in times. We're looking for a 6:47 time for Isabel Weideman. Can she do it today? Laura Hall, to best her time of 7:22. Weideman's holding her lap time in at just over 32 seconds, and Laura Hall in at just over 34 seconds. 5,000 meters, 12 and a half laps around. We're 3,000 meters into the race of a 5,000 meter race. Weideman's time, lap time has come down just near the 32 mark and is holding very consistent, as is Laura Hall, just over the 34-second mark. An only race today for the women's. So if you've just joined us on YouTube or Facebook or CBC, whatever the CBC feed is, we're watching Isabel Weideman and Laura Hall. Isabel Weideman's holding in her lap time at just over 32 seconds, right on 32 exactly. Is a skater of consistency, no doubt. Looking strong out there. Laura Hall just under the 35-second mark. Again, these skaters will have their own strategy and own goals for this race. They won't be competing against each other. They're two different spots of their career. And so they'll be looking to achieve different things throughout the race. So Weideman is really consistent at just over 32 seconds with 2 laps to go in this 5. Can she best the 6:47.34? 2019 record 2 years ago in Calgary. That's when she set it. Laura Hall's lap time is at 36. We should be coming up to a bell lap here, and here we go. The final lap. You can hear cheering from the fans and the supporters along the ice surface with less than 400 meters to go. Can Isabel Weideman best her 6:47.34 time set 2 years ago here in Calgary? Lap time for Laura Hall at just over the 36. Isabel Weideman, here she comes. Lap time was under 32 seconds. Bell lap for Laura Hall. Here comes Weideman. She's going to cross the line at 6:46.81. Ladies and gentlemen, she does it unofficially. 6:46.81. 34 time. I get into trouble if I say officially. It's unofficial until the officials make it so. Laura Hall finishing up on the Bell lap. Her last lap was 37.13. Here it comes down the straightaway, gutting it out. Legs and lungs retired, and she's giving it all she's got. Will she best her 7:22 best and 7:22.61? And she does by about 13/100ths of a second. A personal best for Laura Hall, and a personal best and an unofficial record for Isabel Weideman. Let's give these ladies a big round of applause. Isabel and Laura, congratulations. That's a great race. Well done. Isabel Weideman will take the first position at 6:46.81. Laura Hall comes in at the number 2 position at 7:22.61. Out of the race that just unfolded. Well, that was exciting. It's 4:09, the first pairing, and the only pairing for the 5,000-meter women's race. Congratulations, both Isabel and Laura. And now we are going to switch gears in a moment. Actually, in 11 minutes, we are going. It's at 4:20. Right now, it's at 4:09. So if you happen to be watching on YouTube or Facebook or CBC feed, go grab a coffee, and we'll see you back here in 11 minutes, and featuring former and current world record holders, Graham Fish and Ted Jan Bloman, and Jordan Belchos will be joining these two prolific skaters in the 10,000-meter men's race. Let's get some music on here. We're 5 minutes to race time in the two pairings of the 10,000 meter men's race. The first pairing will be Graham Fish. He will be skating by himself. And in the second pairing will be Ted Jan Bloman and Jordan Belchos. None of these three are strangers to this race, to this oval, or to this sport. They'll be looking to better their times, no question about it. We're going to be doing medal presentation after the men's 10,000 meter race, so we'll be presenting both the women's and the men's at the same time. So stick around for the medal presentations, the crowning of the fastest 5,000 and the 10,000 meter men's as well in our great nation. 5 minutes to race time. Two minutes to race time. 2 minutes to race time. All right, 1 minute to race time. It's 4:19. We started 4:20. So we have two pairings coming up in the 10,000 meter men's race, day 2 of the Canadian Long Track Championships. If you join us on YouTube, Facebook, or CBC, welcome. Graham Fish is coming up, the holder of the Canadian men's 10,000 meter record at a 12:33.86. He'll have his own game plan and strategy, looking to either best that or race the race he wants to race. But Graham Fish is coming up momentarily. Once I see him on the screen, I will officially introduce him. As Graham readies himself, heads to the start line, let me introduce him. 10,000 meter men's race, the first pairing, a solo skater in the inner lane from Saskatchewan. Would you please give a warm welcome to Graham Fish. Good luck. And here we go. Okay. If you just joined us, or if you've been here along for the ride, 10,000 meter men's race, 25 laps, Graham Fish, current Canadian record holder, set in Salt Lake City back in February of 2020. We saw Isabelle Weideman unofficially best her Canadian record time. Let's see how Graham does. He has a particular pace in mind, a particular time in the end in mind. So Graham's lap right now, 800 meters into the race, is 30.48. Those are the times to watch as you watch this race unfold. Not an easy thing to do to skate by yourself. It requires additional mental toughness. And they know exactly how to prepare, both physically and mentally, for a grueling race. So we're going to give him some music along the way. And cheering him along certainly helps. He may not hear my voice or any of the music or any of the cheering that's going on, but he'll hear and feel the fact that you're behind him in this race. So we're 1,200 meters into it, and he's holding a steady 30.8 lap time. Holding steady at a lap time of 30.87. He and his coach will discuss the lap time pace that he'll want to keep. I had an opportunity to meet Graham the last time I was in Calgary, and a very affable young man, loves life, loves to live, is in an amazing condition, and is very much a student of the sport of speed skating. And from all reports I'm getting, and he's holding his lap time at 30.85, so this is good for Graham. And as I mentioned, a student of the sport of speed skating, and seems to be built for long distances, and not an easy thing to do. Your body has to be conditioned accordingly, and there's very few in the world that can skate this fast, this long, at a race like this. 25 laps around. It's incredible. 30.7. These lap times are coming down slightly. So he has a game plan in mind, and when he heads down the backstretch, he and his coach know exactly. They're talking right now. Coach is showing him the lap time, and he'll glance over or hear the voice and know exactly the pace he wants to keep. Question, a test of both physical and mental capacity for anybody who takes on this sport and goes these distances. 30.94 is his lap time, still holding steady. It becomes a fitness test and a technique test. Oftentimes, and if you've just joined us on YouTube and you're new to the sport of speed skating, you can be incredibly fit, but if you don't have the technique down of what it takes to be a speed skater, you won't go that fast. The most prolific speed skaters in the world don't look like they're skating that fast. A 30.87 pace. He's going at a solid clip and holding in well under 12:31. But technique, as I was saying, skaters who are going the fastest don't look like they're exerting a lot of effort, and yet they are to maintain that technique. There is lots that goes into developing a speed skater. And what I notice, if somebody says, well, what does your daughter do? 30.75. These are incredible lap times that he's holding. If you say, well, I play the game of hockey or the game of ring act, people just say, well, that's kind of cool. But when you say you're a speed skater or you're associated with a sport, there's a certain mystique about the sport of speed skating. It's a graceful sport, no question. And that goes down to the technique that I'm talking about. So we're 4,000 meters into a 10,000 meter race, and Graham is a 30.69 lap, and he knows exactly where he's at and what he's doing. Right about now, the coach and he are connecting, whether it be on the lap counter that he's holding or the pad with the time, or he's communicating to Graham. But he knows exactly what he's doing and where he needs to be. He's raced this race many a times. Set a Canadian record in 2020. 30.89. These are solid, consistent lap times at a personal best of 12:33. So we're looking in the 12:30 range for a time out of Graham. His season's best this year is 12:55. So it depends on all about preparation and how he's feeling, and can each skater bring their best as they try to each and every skate. Not always easy to do. At a 30.69, he's bringing it down slightly, 4,800 meters. Basically, as he heads down the backstretch to connect with his coach, he's halfway home in this 25-lap, 10,000 meter race. Welcome to the Canadian Long Track Championships. If you just joined us on YouTube, or Facebook, or one version of a CBC feed, a light schedule today. We had the women's 5,000 meters with Isabel Weideman and Laura Hall, 30 fish as a solo skater in this pairing, if I can say it that way. And we got Ted-Jan Bloman and Jordan Belchos coming up shortly after this race. And we'll also have a medal presentation for both races that we're having. And that'll be it for today before we have the 1,000s tomorrow. Starting at 4 o'clock Calgary time, Alberta time. 30.63 is the time, and that time is going down slightly. So there's a plan that Graham has and he and his coach have. Let's see if I can get some more music going for him. I can hear the fans in the stands cheering him on. He can feel that, 30:47. On the screen, you can see the time that he has accomplished at the 6,000 meters at 7:45:50. However, the time that they make those times is from the lap times. That's what they focus on. They want the lowest times over the longest period of time in a 10,000 meter race. Here he comes again. We're 6,400 meters in, 30:39. He's bringing his times down as the race goes on. Graham is incredibly fit, loves to race, absolutely loves the sport from the conversations I've had with him, or the first time I met him. And had success early in the sport as well, and as a young man. So his runway of time, we're at 30:26, so you might be hearing the crowd cheering a little bit because they notice that his lap times are starting to come down. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not exactly sure what he's on pace to do, but the Canadian record that he set in Salt Lake City in 2020 was 12:33 and change. His season's best is 12:55. He would at least like to achieve season's best. He'd like to better that. At 30-31. He's holding in now. That seems to be where he's hovering, keeping it very consistent. This is an Olympic year. He'll want to be going to the World Cups, and of course he'll want to be going to the Olympics, representing our country at these long distance races. So there's lots at stake here for these skaters at the Canadian Long Track Championships. So good to be back speed skating for the athletes, the officials, the coaches, and a time of 30.5. He's holding in quite well right now. The qualifying times for the World Cups, and there are 4 World Cups. They're in Poland, Norway, Salt Lake City, and in Canada at a time of 13:15:71. Here's a lap time of 30:21. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're paying close attention to the lap time, he's hovering in the low 30s, and he's keeping it there. We're 8,000 meters into a 10,000 meter race. 13 minutes and 15 seconds and .71 is the time standard required for to qualify for the World Cups, the 4 World Cups. That shouldn't be a problem for Graham. 30:31 lap time, 8,400 meters into the race, because even his season's best was at 12:55. Down the backstretch he goes. He's connecting with his coach a little. Might be a strategy to connect with him early. Supporters in the stands are cheering him on. 30:41, 8,800 meters with 3 laps to go on a 25-lap race. Arguably the toughest 3 laps of the 25. But his times have been incredibly consistent. Let's see if he can hold them in, and what time does this produce? Experts in the sport of speed skating will know what pace he's on. I don't know at this point in time. With 2 laps to go, he's holding a time of 30.4. This is a very, very good race unfolding here for Graham. Having raced this so often, and as he rounded number 2, his coach has connected with him, and they know exactly what they're doing. 30.4. The Canadian current champion of the 10,000 meter race, Graham Fish from Saskatchewan, and here we go. We are into the lap time with his lap. He just finished at 30.45 with 300 meters to go. Let's give this man a cheer. By himself in the first pairing of the 10,000 meter race at the Canadian Long Track Championships. Rounding the final 2 corners and coming down the straightaway. Make it as loud as possible for Fish as he guts it out. What time can he achieve? He's coming across the line and crosses the line at 12:49.33. 12.4933, a season's best for Graham Fish. 12:49.33. Great race, Graham. Well done. And of course, that's well ahead of the time standard required to qualify. Never in doubt. Excellent race. We're going to be moving to pairing number 2 as everybody gives Graham Fish a round of applause for an excellent race. I look forward to finding out how he felt about that race, but what was incredible was the time lap, the laps, and keeping them so consistent, just over 30 seconds. This is the second pairing and final pairing in today's Long Track Championships of Canada, in the second pairing, 10,000 meter men's. In the inside lane, from Alberta, well-known Ted Jan Bloman. And in the outer lane, from Ontario, Jordan Belchos. Good luck, gentlemen. All right, after the first lap, I'll come on and talk a little bit about the race. The cheering that you're hearing are the number of supporters in the Calgary Olympic Oval. If you've just joined us, you're watching the second and final pairing of the men's 10,000 meters in the Canadian Long Track Championships. Ted Jan Bloemen and Jordan Belchos. So Ted Jan Bloemen is after the second lap. Their lap time is at 29.95, just under 30 seconds. Jordan Belchos is right there at 29.9. So what kind of times should we expect from these two skaters? Well, Ted Jan Bloemen has a season's best of 12:52. We should at least see his time come in around that. And Jordan Belchos in around 13:24. We'll see them as they skate with those times. You'll probably see the gap widen between the two, although anything can happen. But in 25 lap time, if they don't stay consistent with each other, that will make a difference on where they are on the ice. But they'll be racing different races, their own race, but the idea is that they'll bring the best out in each other. So what do we have for lap times? Ted Jan Bloemen's in at 29:54. That's under 30 seconds. Jordan Belchos is separated by 1 second at 30:52. So we should see Ted Jan come in at around 12:50, somewhere in there. And Jordan Belchos has a season's best of 13:24. But the personal best for Ted Jan is around 12:36. And Jordan's in there at 12:50. So somewhere between their personal best and their season's best is where the time lands if Graham Fish has sort of set an example of the race today. So we're really 2,000 meters in of a 10,000 meter race. And if you've just joined us, and if you don't think a 25 lap race is exciting, you've got another thing coming. It is. What you're seeing is a test of mental and physical fitness in these amazing athletes. 29.67 is Ted Jan's lap time, and 1 second more it goes to Jordan at 30.67. 3 weeks ago, I was calling the race between Ted Jan Bloemen and Graham Fish, and it was an exciting race from my vantage point in the timing deck, because it was a bit of a cat and mouse game. Ted Jan had the first 10 laps ahead of Graham, and then Graham took over the race. And then a bit of a dogfight the last 5 laps, and Ted ultimately bested Graham, much to his chagrin, in the last 3 laps. Both racers brought out the best in each other. It was a fantastic race to watch and to call. 25 laps is a grueling race. These athletes compete for it. And when you watch these skaters on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube or CBC or the Facebook feed, it may not look like they're going that fast. If you're at ice level, a video footage or television footage doesn't do the sport of speed skating justice unless you're down right at ice level where you can feel the speed of these skaters. Just try a pair of speed skates on sometime, just skating, but let alone going fast. Let's have a look at their lap times here. So let's Ted Jan, we're 3,600 meters into the race at 29.88. So he so far has held his lap pace under 30 seconds. Jordan will want to do his best to keep his under 31, as he's just at 30.92. Both of these racers will have a certain strategy, just like Graham did with in his race. So they're racing on the ice surface against each other, their potential and the clock. 29.8 for Ted Jan's lap time, 4,000 meters into the race. Jordan Belchos in at 30.91, holding his under 31 seconds. So what kind of times are we going to expect from these racers? Well, for Ted Jan, somewhere between 12:36 and 12:52 is my guess. And for Jordan, somewhere between 12:50 and 13:24. The time standard, Jordan will want to achieve the time standard to qualify for the World Cup. That's 13 minutes and 15 seconds. So he'll definitely want to do better than 13:24, which is season's best. That would be on his mind, I would think, as he's racing this 10,000-meter race. Ted Jan Bloemen and Jordan Belchos, if you're watching us, you're seeing him on the screen. You're looking at Ted Jan Bloemen right now crossing the 4,800-meter mark with a lap is under 30 seconds. Very, very consistent and a faster pace than Graham Fish had, well, at this point in the race. Jordan Belchos has brought his time down and holding his steady under the 31-second mark at 30.73. Lots of supporters here at the Canadian Long Track Championships. Ted Jan just crossed the line again at a 29.99. See how long he can hold this, but no one would blame him if it went over 30, given the pace that he keeps. It is, after all, 25 laps of a 400-meter oval. 30.88. Jordan has settled into a very consistent lap time, and he'll know what lap time he'll need in order to qualify for the World Cups. He needs to do better than 13 minutes, 15 seconds, 0.71. That's what'll be on his mind, is my guess. Ted Jan's in there at 29.75. Over 30 seconds, and so we're not seeing it. Jordan has now clipped over 31 second at 31.11. They're about 11 seconds apart on the ice. That's what 11 seconds looks like in the distance on the ice right now. And here comes Ted Jan as he crosses over the 6,000-meter mark at 29.84. So in terms of achieving a particular time, they will map it out and know the athletes and the coaches, to determine what kind of lap time they'll want to get. 31.26 for Jordan, now 6,000 meters into his 10,000-meter race. Here comes Ted Jan again. And now he's 30 seconds right on the dot and 6,400 meters in. If you just joined us, welcome. Day 2 of the Canadian Long Track Speed. Only some of the best, 31.44 for Jordan Belchos. Not some of the best Canadian long track speed skaters, but some of the best in the world right now. Watching Graham Fish and Ted Jan Bloemen, an up-and-comer, Jordan Belchos, cheering each other on. Each skater would like to do better than the other skater, but also bring out the best in each skater. These skaters are not only fierce competitors, but they're also dear friends of each other. They want the best for each other and themselves. Ted Jan's lap time is just over 30 seconds at 30.24. Jordan is at 31.64. $30.38 for Ted, with 7,200 meters into a 10,000-meter race. You're looking at a 12.5 to a 13-minute skate. These skaters in preparation will eat a tremendous amount of calories the night before and get a very, very long sleep. They're expending a tremendous amount of energy. Ted Jan Bloemen at 7,600 meters is at 30.77. And Jordan Belchos as he will cross his 7,600 meter distance at 31.96. All right, Ted Jan Bloemen's 8,000 meter mark is 30.84. With 2,000 meters to go in his race. Meter mark at 32.14. 31 seconds on the dot. It hasn't moved much, from 29.5 seconds to 31. Very consistent lap times. Jordan, the same, from 29.5 to about 32. Jordan will be looking to achieve the time standard for the 10,000 meters to compete in the World Cup, or to be open for a selection at 13:15:71. That's the time to focus on for Jordan. Ted will be able to achieve that time, as he's done that already in a season's best. 8,800 meters, or 3 laps to go for Ted Jan Bloemen. 31:63 is his lap time. All right, we're 2 laps to go. We're 9,200 meters into a 10,000 meter race. Ted Jans has his lap time at 31:55. Jordan is holding his just under 32, has brought his down in the previous lap time. With less than 2 laps to go, Ted Jan Bloemen is going to get the bell lap here very shortly. Here comes Ted in front of the stands down the straightaway, and here is the bell lap. Ted Jan Bloemen, world record holder, now with less than 300 meters to go. His personal best time is 12:36. His season's best is 12:52. Rounding the final 2 turns. Imagine just how tired he is as he guts it out down the straightaway, giving him cheers from the crowd. And the time he's going to achieve when he crosses is 12:41:55. 12:41:55, which is a season's best by about 11 seconds. And about 5 seconds off his personal best. And Jordan crosses his 10,000 meter at 13:02:75. 13 minutes, 2 seconds, 75. He surpasses his season's best by about 21 seconds and well under the qualifying time for the World Cups. So Jordan and Ted Jan, congratulations on a great race. And they deserve a big round of applause. Anybody who does 25 laps, time and time again, and loves it, deserves a big round of applause. Give it up for Ted Jan Bloemen, Jordan Belchos, and earlier Graham Fish. We're going to see them at the medal presentation with Moika Stolfel shortly. So stick around for the 5,000 meter women's and the 10,000 meter men's medal presentation shortly. Once everybody is in place, we'll do the medal presentation for the 5,000 meter women's and the 10,000 meter men's race. Long distance times for the men's and women's coming up. I think we're getting ready for the medal presentation for the 5,000 meter women's and the 10,000 meter men's races. The medals will be handed out by international referee assigned to the competition, Moika Stoffel. And when she gives me the thumbs up, I'll take it away. Are we? Yes. Okay, we're good to go? Yes, okay. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 2 of the Canadian Long Track Championships. We had 2 events today. We had the 5,000 meter women's race, the crowning of the fastest long distance skaters in women's and men's. We had 1 pairing in the women's. And the medal presentation will be given by Moika Stoffel. And so, with a personal best, taking the 2nd position, skating as a junior with a 7:22:61 time, incredible time as a junior. Would you please give it up for 2nd place, Laura Hall from Alberta. Laura Hall, incredible future ahead of her with a junior time of 7:22. The qualifying time for the international standards for the World Cup is 7:06. Those times, Laura, will be achieved in your career, no doubt. To Isabel Weideman, no stranger to the World Cup circuit, representing our senior. Had a banner day today, Isabel, with not only a personal best, but as a current Canadian record holder, you just bested that with a time of 6:46:81. Give it up for the top time, 5,000 meter women, crowning number 1, Isabel Weideman. Congratulations, ladies, on a great race. Fun to watch. And pose for the camera. Get a good look at those faces. You're going to see lots of more speed skating ahead with these ladies. Congratulations, Isabel, and congratulations, Laura. Have a great rest of the meet. You are going to continue handing out the medals. Moika Stoffel, the international referee assigned to this competition. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Correct? All right, here we go. In the 10,000 meter men's, we had 3 skaters over 2 races. And all 3 racers had great days today. Jordan Belchos had a season's best and a time just under 12 seconds qualifying, has a qualifying time for the World Cups. The qualifying time is 13:15:71. His time was 13. Season's best. Give it up for Jordan Belchos. a former world record holder of the 10,000 meters, but still holding the Canadian current record holder out of Salt Lake City a couple of years ago. All-round good guy who I met for the first time with a time of 12:49:33, a season's best. Give it up for the second place, Graham Fish, with a newly sleek haircut to boot. And in the first position, the fastest time, the world record holder for the 5,000 meters today, had a great race on the 10,000 meters with a season's best and a Canadian Olympic oval track record with a time of 12:41:55. Give it up for Ted Jan Bloemen. Congratulations. A great day on the ice for all three of you. All right. Give it up for the camera now. All right, big round of applause for Ted Jan Bloemen, Graham Fish, Jordan Belchos. 25 laps, 10,000 meters, a grueling race. Those gentlemen are incredible athletes. Fastest skaters in Canada at this distance. Way to go. Have a great rest of the meet. Ted Jan, Graham, and Jordan, congratulations. And that completes day 2 of the Canadian Long Track Championships. We get to do it all over again tomorrow at 4 o'clock Alberta time, because we get to see the women's 1,000 meters and the men's 1,000 meters, 10 pairings of each. Early morning, the Oval International, day 1 of that 3-day meet is coming up. It's 5:07. Say goodnight from the Olympic Oval here in Calgary, Alberta. Those featured and on the feed of YouTube, Facebook, and CBC. Good night, God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.